Welcome everyone. We show the broadcast that we would like to introduce you to that we're bringing to you here on this channel. I hope you all enjoy each of them, and please feel free to subscribe to us and follow us here, as well as on Facebook, Twitter, and Wordpress, so that you can stay updated to all of our broadcasts and future upcoming broadcasts as well. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Passing Disciplines. Tonight we'll be doing some work with the hexagram and the position of planets. Basically, a quick overview of the hexagram ritual. Thought it might be fun to go over it. Plus, there's something I want to kind of introduce as I get into this. When I talk about the omnial formula, creating your walking circle, there is certain reasons for such things, and why I think we should spend just as much time on the hexagram ritual as we did on the LBR. Give me a few seconds. My computer's still running fairly slow. Kind of get my late start. I was working on this, working on the images and stuff for it, so I could actually show you. The hexagram ritual, the position of planets, or the hexagram, the position of planets. It is a very unique and interesting system. Just as much as it is a part of the tree of life, and I will go on later to show you. The symbol magic of the planetary position in the hexagram. Each point of the hexagram corresponds to one of the 7 docical planets, with the exception of the Sun, which is located in the middle, which is also Sephiroth when we're dealing with this tree of life. This is immediately clear if you view the Sun as the sum or essence of all other planets, comparable to either or spirit, ether or spirit, in the world of elements. In addition, the allocation of the planets to specific points of the hexagram coincides with the corresponding Kabbalistic Sephiroth. Saturn, which corresponds directly to the Sephira Bina, is at the very top and stands for the totality of the upper triad, made up of Keter, Chakma, and Bina. The Moon corresponds to the Sephira Yesod. Jupiter corresponds to Ches, Mars to Geburah, Venus to Neches, and Mercury to Had. This system is quite unique because it allows us another tool to focus and draw in the planetary energies into our aura bubble personal universe. And this is why the pentagram ritual is important, because it is also already there. We've already blazed it through repetition. It's already a part of us. This is yet another way to add to our bubble by drawing those energies. I have actually found it. I don't know how many people have actually watched my correspondence videos. In it, I'll show you a program that I use. Solar System Scope.net, which is a live interactive thing of our solar system. So I can correlate the hexagram ritual to when we're aligned with certain planets as well, therefore drawing more of that in. So it's a unique tool that can be used when we're doing the evoking and banishing parts of the hexagram ritual. That way we're also meditating, focusing, and getting the purest form and the most closest connection form to those energies as we draw it in. Does not need to be in alignment to do this. You can wait to work on that later. The important part is the repetition, as we did. One of the first things we learned with the LBPR, Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, is just that, repetition. Keep doing it until it's unblazed. We need to put the same focus, I believe, in the hexagram ritual as well. In classical theory, the planets are divided into so-called octaves, which doesn't need to concern you yet in detail. The only thing that needs pointed out is the opposite planets: Saturn, Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Venus, are agreeable to one another. That fact that they form counterpole in the hexagram doesn't mean contradiction, but rather the opposite. You need to memorize the positions of the planets in the hexagram right from the start. You need this throughout your magical career again and again, since the location also determines the directions the lines are drawn in each planetary hexagram. Unlike the pentagram, the hexagram in its structural form cannot be drawn in one single line without lifting the hand. Therefore, two separate but interlocking triangles are drawn. In doing so, the following rules apply. So memorize these well. In invoking is always clockwise. Banishing is always counterclockwise. The first hexagram always begins at the point corresponding to the planet. The second hexagram always begins on a point opposite the planet. The following chart will show you how to draw each planetary hexagram. Let me show you that. Excuse me. I'll need to describe the hexagram ritual in such a complicated way at first because its various forms and versions will not become clear until you've studied its basic principle. On that note, here's one more comment on the principle of invoking and banishing. According to the basic symbol logic structure, a magical operation should always be designed as symmetrical as possible. If, for example, the veil to the magical world is open at the beginning of a ritual, it needs to be symbolically closed at the end of the operation as well. I need to go on and note something on that. This applies for everything we work with. For those that like to play with Ouija boards, mirror magic, scrying, divination, tarot cards, we should always, because when we use those tools, we are opening a door. Therefore, we should always be conscientious of closing that door. That is how things come in and come about and start causing chaos in your life. I think that's something that should be reiterated over and over. I know we know better, but we get caught up in our work and just usually forget these things. If a certain power is invoked, it needs to be dismissed as well. Just like when we do the greater ritual of the pentagram, we also do, when we invoke the angels, we also dismiss them. Same way with any spirit, when we invoke or cause to manifest, we also dismiss it. We give them a parting farewell. Therefore, by closing the door. The term banishing is a bit confusing in terms of planetary powers or deities, since the beginners often understand this to mean scare or drive away. Actually, only demons or elemental powers are truly banished. Deities, angels, and the like, on the other hand, are never driven away due to their, well, I'm not going to say negate the fact that I said angels, because we actually have dominion over them. We try to be a little polite and show a bit more respect. But when push comes to shove, they can be just as easily driven away. Only in extreme cases, such as another the magician is in danger of becoming control, possess, hence why I re-changed the situation on the angels. They can possess, and they will, if they feel the need to. Would only one use the banishing against the planetary powers? Of course. Another magician would usually do this, since it would not only be easier, but also because of the system of the greater detachment one has that would make the operation more successful. It's just as important to be able to dismiss or banish a magical power as it is to invoke it. The dismissal occurs by using a banishing symbol. The hexagram of the sun is made up of all 6 planetary hexagrams together while drawing the sun symbol in the middle of each and vibrating the sun's formula. This happens in the following traditional order. One, Saturn. 2, Jupiter. 3, Mars. 4, Venus. 5, Mercury. 6, Moon. First, draw the Saturn hexagram while vibrating the sun formula. Then draw the sun symbol in the center and vibrate Aritia, which I know I did not pronounce that right, but I'm not going to. Then do the same with the hexagram for Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and so on. As you can see here, I have them in the order that which we did go, along with their formula. So from here, we'd start at the far right and go left, down, up. Then we'll start here. Then we draw in the sun and pronounce Yehovah Elohavadat. To banish, we'll start at the top of the triangle and go down, which is also the opposite triangle that we had started. And we trace it like that. For the moon, now if you pay attention how we banished the sun, we banished it with the moon. So when we go to do the moon, we start and do it the same way we did the moon, or the banishing to invoke the moon. Shaddai el-Shai, or Shaddai el-Kaye, which those. Now the banishing for this, we start at the top of the first upright triangle, go down, on the right hand side, up. Now the one that is inverted, we go from the tip of the point on the left hand side, now for Mercury. Now you notice Mercury is the opposite of the banishing of the moon. This is the easiest way to memorize this, guys, I've found. For the most part, we work on the opposite when the banishing for them. The next one will start as just the opposite direction from the banishing. So Mercury, we start here at the bottom of the upright triangle. On the left, go up, down, across. Then we come over to the inverted triangle, start at the far right, far corner, go down, up, across, connecting, and we trace in the symbol for Mercury, and the formula for that is Elohim Sabaoth. Followed by, yes, and each of these are followed by Eretiv, which, yes, you guys will notice I'm pronouncing it differently every time I say it, just because I don't want to intone it or invoke it. It's one of those words that really doesn't need to be intoned, so pronunciation it right will sound out the frequencies. To banish, we start at the far left on the inverted triangle, go across, down, finish. Now we come to the bottom of it. With the upright triangle on the left-hand side, go across, up, down, connect. What I do, I've never been taught this, so may not be right, may not be wrong, but normally when I draw them, I'll draw this one for the invoking, like this, down, across. Now when I banish, I'll start at the bottom and do the opposite of how I originally drew it, so counterclockwise on everything. Don't know if that's actually proper. This is the way I do it. Now for Venus, we start at the left-hand side. As you can see, it's just the opposite of the banishing for Mercury. We start the inverted one, go from the left to the right, down, up, the upright at the bottom, far right to the left, up, down, finishing it, drawing it out. Yad He Va He Sabaoth. And to banish, we start at the inverted one at the bottom right, go up. Oops, I need the inverted one, guys. My bad, sorry. That is the upright triangle. We start at the bottom right, go up, down, across, finish. Then we come back over to the inverted one, start at the far left, go down, up, back across, closing it. Then we banish it. Same thing for Mars. Its formula is Elohim Gibor. Saturn is L. Oops, that's Jupiter, my bad. Saturn, which is what we finish with, which is Yad He Va He Elohim. I'll let you guys look at that for a bit. That is how the invoking and banishing process is done. The planetary principle in a short outline. Sun, soul, basic principles. Vitality, reasoning, center of being, potent, giving, creating, linear, knowledge, intellect, analysis, structure, practical magical operations, improving the quality of life, magic for health and prosperity, gaining wisdom and centeredness, stabilizing one's magical identity, promoter, general and specific plans in business, health, or power, political sense. That is just some of the properties of the sun. I guess there's also a bit of correspondence as well, but I mean, it has its own intelligence, as you guys will learn. That's why the geometric attributes of it. There's so much to glean and understand when we're dealing with each individual planetary system. They have an intelligence, they have a spirit, they have knowledge, and learning to work with those energies is very important. It's also very important when we start applying them, as we do with the LBR, to our aura or bubble personal universe. I'm just going to call it from a bubble, our personal universe from here on out. Much easier for me that way. And guys, bear with me if you guys are asking questions in the chat. I'll jump back over in a few and answer any questions you have thus far. Moon, Luna, basic principle, femininity, intuition, emotion, sensitivity, dream, fertility, receptiveness, producing and dissolving inconsistency, rhythms, cyclic knowledge, emotions, emotional synthesis, sense of structure, practical magical applications, divination, clairvoyancy, charm work, sex magic, magic dealing with emotional improvement of subtle perceptions, magic dealing with decomposition and uncertainty, improving the perception of cycles and rhythms. Mercury, Mercurius, basic principles, the intellect, language and speech, communication, healing, cunning, and shrewdness. Thievery, business sense, recognition of structure. Principal magic applications, magic for healing, money, help with examinations, interviews, business negotiations, etc. And the support of intellectual activities. Venus, basic principles, harmony, union, love, eroticism, beauty, art, flair, harmonization of structures. Practical magical applications, creating harmony, finding love, magic for influencing emotions, money magic, artistic and promotional projects. Mars, basic principle, driving force, self-authority, sexuality, passion, fighting, competition, aggression, courage, self-protection, the fight for structure, practical magic application, structures for, rituals for attack and protection. Work dealing with authority and finding sexual partners, improving the quality of life, work with the gnosis of anger. Jupiter, Inus, basic principle, overview, luxury, wealth, religion, generosity, ethics, expansions, growth, widening structure, practical magical applications, magic for wealth and prosperity, luck, happiness, the support of healthy competition, not competition, operation, my bad, gaming, philosophical, ethical insight, rituals of self-assertion, Saturnaris, basic principles, restriction, concentration, severity, innovation, perseverance, wisdom, magical application, finding a job, real estate matters, improving concentration, magic dealing with death. Of course, the number of practical magical application possible is in no way exalted with this short list. And mind you, this is just a short list. Many things can be applied to it. Many things are applied to it. Hey, Chris. Welcome. Yeah, I actually kind of got a late start myself, actually. I was working on creating up these charts in Photoshop, so kind of got caught up in it. Plus, I got up late anyway. For anybody that's watching, feel free. If you got any questions, ask them. I will answer them as I go along. Now, this is just the planes, astrological symbols, Kabbalistic numbers, formulas, and the Hexagram Ritual. So we have, on the left-hand side, we have the planet, symbol, and number. The sun, with this symbol, its number is 6. The ritual formula is Yad-He Vahe, Eloah Varat, Ariatva. The moon is 9, Shaddai Al-Shai, or Shaddai Al-Kaye. And I'm not going to repeat the last word. You guys know it's part of the formula. Mercury, its number is 8. Its formula, Elohim Zabot. Venus, its numeric value is 7. Yad-He Vahe Zabot is its ritual formula. Mars, its number is 5. Elohim Gibor. Jupiter is 4. Its ritual formula is El. Saturn, its numeric value is 3. Yad-He Vahe Elohim. And I'll let you guys look at that for a bit. Let me shrink this down. Maybe fit it around that. Magic usually recognizes 7 classical planets, which need to be understood in an astrological sense. This means that the sun and moon, which astrologically speaking are not considered to be planets at all, are certainly viewed as axis, an outlook that's still valid in magic today in symbolic form. To put this in a magical terms, it means that the magician stands at the axis. What is that word? Axis? Yeah, the axis of one's own universe. See what I'm saying when I start talking about your own personal universe, creating your own personal universe and blazing it, as we do with the pentagram ritual? I mean, when we vibrate the formula and draw into the energies and properties of each. The axis of one's own universe, and everything rotates around him or her. At the same time, the concept also contains one of the greatest dangers of magic, namely megalomania, which can lead to a serious overestimation of one's own ability and delusions of grandeur, self-importance. Ego. God complex. The only way to avoid this is by systematically monitoring your results, especially in everyday practical magic, and applying the appropriate objectivity and subtlety. Remember this basic principle of magic that Aleister Crowley, Thelema, supported. Dus est homo, a homo est dus. And I'm pretty sure I butchered that too. The planets and the most significant correspondence. Metals, colors, gemstones, scents, plants, and formula. Or for the abbreviated sense, MCGSPF. I didn't get a chance to actually put this out on the table, but I will table this out. And when I'm done, I'll actually link what I'm working on into the description so you can actually have a written copy of this to add to your own personal work, to play with, modify, change, add, whatever you feel like doing. Remember, the object is take what you learn and make it your own. So we have the planet, symbol, number, and day of the week. Sun, symbol. As we already know, the number is 6. Day of the week is Sunday. The metal is gold. Colors, yellow and gold. Gems, Hesotrope, topaz. Scent, cinnamon, all glorious odors. Albusson. Plant, acacia, laurel. Vine. Formula, Yadhe Vahe, Eloah Vadat. Moon, Monday, 9. The metal is silver. The color is white silver. The gemstone, moonstone, crystal, pearl. Scents, jasmine, ginger. All sweet vaginal odors. Plant, Daminica. Mandrake, almond. Formula, Shaddai El-Kai or Shaddai El-Shai. Mars, numeric 5, Tuesday. Metal, iron, color, red, gem, ruby. Scents, pepper, Tabasco. All not pungent odors. Plant, oak, nettle, nux, vanica. Formulas, Elohim Gabor. Mercury, 8, Wednesday. Metal, mercury, brass. Color, orange, yellow. Gem, fire opal, agate. Scents, syrax, mastic. All fungitive odors. Plant, Mali, sage, peyote. Formula, Elohim Zabot. Jupiter, 4, Thursday. Metal is tin, color is blue or royal blue. Gemstone is amethyst sapphire. Scents, hortisco, saffron, all generous odors. Plant is olive or shamrock. Formula is L. Interesting. Venus, 7, Friday. Metal is copper. Color is green. Gemstone is emerald or turquoise. Scent is rose, myrtle, and soft, voluptuous odors. Plant is rose, myrtle, clover. Its formula is Yehovah Savot. Saturn. 3. Metal, lead. Color, black, brown. Gem, onyx. Sense, errant. Semonic, indigo. All evil orders. Plant, yew, cypress. Nightshade. Formula, Yehovah Elohim. As you guys can see, we're still doing, still covering a little bit more on the concept of all the properties. And these are the things you can start working with as you're working with the planetary symbol, the planetary energies, and the hexagram ritual, having the sense burn as you devote and banish. Each has a property. And what we're doing, we're bringing those into our personal universe. We're emblazing our universe with the power words, the formula, with the sense, the energy. The only thing we'd like to explain is why the sun principle shouldn't be dealt with until all other planets have been studied in depth, since the sun is not an ordinary planet, but rather the sum of all others through knowledge. For example, until we've understood the principle of Saturn, we cannot be able to understand the old dictum. The core of the sun is Saturnic. Or understand the number 3, Saturn, and 6, Sun, are closely related. Doubting is not the answer. Not until then will we realize why 666 is the number of the beast, 333 is the number of the demon. Corazon. Or what this all means and how it can practice. To the newcomer to magic, you will generally find it easier to understand planets such as Mercury or Jupiter at first instead of Mars or Saturn. Saturnalia. What is Saturn, guys? Saturn represents man. Nothing more. Not the beast. Nothing else. It represents man, represents Earth. Represents the primal natures of ourselves. Because 666 is nothing more than 18. 1 and 8 is 9. And I'm not going any farther than that with that. The rest of that's for you to puzzle out and figure out. And as you guys study this, you will learn the concept. Tefereth, the heart, the soul. And now you see how it corresponds to the tree of life. The lesser ritual of the hexagram. This ritual is to be performed often. The lesser ritual of the pentagram. Stand upright, feet together. arm at side, right crossed body, holding wand or other weapon, upright or empty-handed, like you've been taught, is the median line. Face east and say, Yad Nun Resh Yad. Virgo, Isis, Mighty Mother. Scorpio, Aphosis, Destroyer, Soul, Osiris, Slain, and Risen. Isis, Aphosis, Osiris, IAO. Extend the arms in the form of the cross and say, the sign of Osiris slain. Raise the right arm to point upwards, keeping the elbow square, and lower the left arm to point downwards, keeping the elbow square while turning the head over the shoulder, looking down, so that the eyes follow the left forearm, and say, the sign of the morning of Isis. Let me actually show you those signs. Give me a second while I pull them up. It might be a little bit easier. Which is funny, I actually did grab those signs. Didn't know why I did. Now I do. I grabbed them actually for something else. I'd actually grabbed this image, for working with the so you guys can get a general understanding what the signs look like. Not the best image, but close enough to being almost dead accurate, actually. Rise the arms at an angle of 60 degrees to each other above the head, which is thrown back, and say the sign office and Typhon. Cross the arms on the breast and bow head and say the sign of Osiris risen. Give all four signs, saying LVX flux, the light of the cross, with the magical weapons. Trace the appropriate hexagram in the east, saying Aratia. Turn to the south and trace the appropriate hexagram, saying Aratia. Turn to the north and trace the appropriate hexagram, Aratia. Return to the east. Repeat all actions down to LVX Lux, the light of the cross, Aratia. This word consists of the initials of the sentence, which means one is his beginning, one is his individuality. His permutation is one. That is what Aratia means. And yes, guys, I know a lot of you want to correct me on how I am butchering that, but yes, it is, Chris. Saturn is in Tefera. Also known as the heart position, or the spirit position, or worse, a lot of us will say when we take our throne. Because when we work magic from within to Seraph. actually, yes, Chris, you were right. I actually screwed that up. Good catch. It is in the abyss. Or the void, whatever you guys want to call it. Circle is not on the tree. Planetary Magic. The modern hexagram ritual borrowed elements from the Golden Dawn's traditions, which is of practical significance in planetary magic. We've already dealt with the theoretical bias of the ritual, so let's get into the practice. The hexagram ritual, the greater hexagram ritual, or the greater LVPR, or LBR, or the pentagram, we're now entering the field of practical planetary magic. Although we'll be sticking to the hexagram ritual for now, since it makes more sense to practice this for a while before introducing the whole system of planetary conjunctions, which can be quite elaborate at times. But to get general practice, or general picture, here's a summary of the basic structure of the typical planetary ritual. The structure of a planetary ritual. Lesson Vanishing Ritual of the Pentagram. Meditation of the planetary powers. Lesser Ritual of the Hexagram. Invoking. Invocation of the planetary power or formula. Hymn. Practical work with the planetary power. Invoking. Dismissal of planetary power. Meditation and some traditions. Lesser Ritual of the Hexagram. Vanishing. LBR of the Pentagram. Lesser Vanishing Ritual of the Pentagram. With license to depart. The individual steps of the framework will be discussed later. For now, we're only interested in the hexagram ritual itself and its very simple form. By now, if you guys are even getting ready to play with the hexagram ritual, by now you should know the vanishing ritual of the pentagram. That's something I need to cover. The basic structure of the lesser ritual of the hexagram: invoking, banishing. Draw the hexagram in the east. At the same time, vibrate the planetary formula. Draw the planetary symbol in the middle of the hexagram. At the same time, vibrate the formula. Arita. Repeat the entire procedure in the remaining 3 cardinal directions. The LRH, Lesser Ritual Hexagram, of the sum invoking vanishing. As already mentioned, the invocation of the sun using the hexagram ritual is a special case. The basic procedure is the same as as above, except that all 6 planetary hexagrams are drawn with the difference that the sun formula is vibrated each time, and the sun symbol is drawn in the middle of each. Technically speaking, you are actually performing 6 separate hexagram rituals by drawing the line corresponding for the 6 planets, except the Sun, but overlapping everything with the Sun symbol. In doing so, a certain traditional order is adhered to. Here's the proper traditional order of Saturn in the East. At the same time, vibrate the Sun formula. Draw the Sun symbol in the middle of the hexagram. At the same time, vibrate the formula. Arieta. Repeat the entire procedure in the remaining 3 cardinal directions. Repeat 1 through 5 with the hexagram of Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon. Although this may seem complicated at first, in theory, in practice it is really quite logical and easy to understand. Sun, planetary formula, God name, Yehovah Elohim, or Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh. Common pronunciation, Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh, or Yehovah. Either one can be used. Yep, I see a misprint on my paper here. Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh, Elohim, Yehovah Eloah-Vadat. It's not Elohim, guys. My bad. It's Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh, Eloah-Vadat, meaning God manifest in the realm of spirit. Moon, planetary formula, God named Shaddai Ashai. Common pronunciation, Shaddai Ashai, meaning the Almighty Living God. Mercury, planetary formula, Elohim Zebaoth, meaning Lord of the Host. Venus, Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh Zebaoth, meaning Lord of Hosts. I am who I am, Lord of the Hosts. Mars, planetary formula, God named Elohim Gibor, meaning Almighty God. Jupiter, El, common pronunciation, Io, sometimes Elf Lamed, meaning God or Ox, Elf, Ox, Goat, Lamed. Driving force, cosmic dynamics. Saturn, Yad-Heh-Vah-Heh Elohim, meaning God the Lord. The allocation of the Hebrew God name stems from the Kabbalist. The formula corresponded to the appropriate sephirot of the Tree of Life, or their God name, that are assigned to the planets. Now I need to look at something. But our end goal, I think you guys I've showed you, this is what we're trying to achieve. When we emblaze when we do all the work with the lesser bending ritual of the pentagram and the greater ritual of the pentagram, we are now starting to combine the pentagram and the hexagram into our personal universe. We're making them one. They're banishing aspects and they're invoking aspects, acknowledging energies that flow through them. It's now flowing in a even flow within our personal universe. Hence the repetition of our words, the God names. And I will be the first to admit I have not practiced the Hexagram rituals as much as I have ever practiced the pentagram ritual. I don't know, mainly because I got the concept. Yeah. Well, a lot of it I'm mispronouncing on purpose, Chris. And that's something I actually want to discuss. I know I covered it, said it a couple other times. There's a few, when I'm doing work like this, I will intentionally mispronounce the words. That way they're not charged, and there's no energy or frequencies vibrating off them when I say them. And the other key thing is when we start working with the power words, the names, you got to find your own pitch, your own vibration. Everyone has their own unique frequency and pitch to their voice. And trust me, you'll know when you pronunciate it right because you'll feel the energies, you'll feel it vibrating. And you can work, that's how you can actually practice. Just keep saying the word, changing your pitch to find the perfect match for you. And you'll know instantly because you'll feel it just vibrating from within you, out and back through you and you'll feel that energy start cycling through you. Easiest way to learn how to pronounce or get the proper intonation if it's intoned or if it's just spoken. And also by doing it this way, you learn the energy. It's always good to come back and revisit and redo because it also helps once you find that frequency and that energy, you actually can do it without I get a weird low growling kind of. I'm just going to skip that word gibberish. Maybe Iranian, barbaric. There is some, I've come across some that actually has to be pronounced that way to get the effect. I don't know why. It depends on the language you're using and the dialect. As I've stated, when it comes to using the Anakian, there is no intoning. It's just like speaking English, guys. I mean, you might have to play with the word for a bit to get the right frequency, your right pitch, but other than that, there's no intonement. It's why I don't usually teach Anakian until they've went through the Hebrew system and a few other systems of intonements. Where meditation helps a lot too. Using the vocal forms of meditation. Which I guess now I know why I've actually covered the hexagram. Felt needed to cover this because I'm working, as I said, from Mondays from here on out. It's going to be knowledge and principles. We're going to be dealing with learning to walk the tree in a different way than most people are taught. Actually, I'm pretty sure no one's taught the way I'm teaching how to walk the tree. I'm skipping a few of the minor steps, so to speak. But when we start, as you guys see, when we're starting to deal with the tree, I mean, you can see it even in this image here. I mean, we're dealing with elements with the hexagram, which I didn't even get into. as you can see, it does correspond to the tree. Or as I can show you, even in this image, you can see how it actually, even when we do the signs, how they do represent even within the tree. As above, so below. It has the same meaning. So what happens when you flip the tree? You flip it here. If you were standing and you flip it, it's just your lower half of your body. Which really, this is a bad depiction here. And honestly, for my work with the hexagram and the greater hexagram ritual, lesser hexagram ritual, after about the first week of doing it, it's not as complex as it's made to seem, which is probably I advanced quicker through it than I did other things. Simplicity kills me, so give me something complex, I can usually understand it and work it out faster than I can something simple. It's just funny in its sense. But like I said, these are things, once you do the repetition, it's just, you can do it. You don't only have to revisit them like once a year, maybe once or twice a year, perform the LBR and the hexagram ritual. Like I said, with the software I showed you guys, that's another way to actually use it to find the alignments to actually work on just one aspect of the hexagram ritual. When we get those alignments, or three are aligned, drawing in those three, using the hexagram ritual. Eventually what the object is blazing that within your aura or your personal universe, so it becomes a part of your personal universe, just not mentally, but it is physically there. It is charged. So therefore, you're not walking in your circle. Now your circle is a part of the lesser vanishing ritual, the pentagram, and the lesser invocation ritual, the hexagram, or the graders. So eventually we add the greater and the lesser to the lessers, and all the properties that are part of them. So when we visualize them, in a sense, we're creating a trigger. We're triggering all that information that's actually just a simple ritual. By triggering, we're causing it to explode and come to life, filling our auric field with those energies and properties. It's actually the simplest form of magic we do. And most of us don't realize it. Most of us think we have to do all that. Hence, when you're actually performing ritual, doing ritual work, getting ready to do spell work, when you put the research, technically before you even step inside the circle, your ritual is complete and done. It's already been cast. It's already been made manifest. And you'll get to a point where you have just thought about it and maybe picked up a couple things to start your research, and in a couple days you'll see it come about. And you haven't even started yet. So yeah, when you have those thoughts and you're feeling, when you start realizing that, you start realizing, yes, as soon as you get that thought, you compound that thought and structure that thought as fast as possible, so that There's no chaotic events that take place outside that. I had to learn that lesson the hard way just about a year ago. But don't get me wrong, I got the desired result. I just didn't like how it didn't come about the way it would have if I would have just finished the process. It would have been a different outcome, so to speak. Same outcome, but no side effects. But that's also what happens when you get lazy and slack in your work. So, like I said, another good reason to revisit your work, as I've been doing here late. It just refreshes the memory and refreshes the perspectives of things, and I start seeing new things in it that I didn't see back when I first studied it. And plus, this is another way, guys. I've hinted on it. I haven't really stated it. Now, when we do perform ritual work, say we want to work with planetary magic, we don't have to sit there and go through and do the ritual, the hexagram, every time we go to do it. It's already a part of us. That is the key. Now we're just envisioning it and tapping into what's already been emblazed into our aura. We're triggering it, and it comes to life. That is what the whole object. We don't need to be wearing our pens. They have no real meaning beside the training wheel at first, because our pen is already inside our personal universe, our aura. It's emblazed in it. Just like, I don't know how many of you caught it when I was actually talking about when you start performing the ritual, grab your tools, or use your natural tools, which is your hand. You don't need a dagger, an atame, or the sword. You have one. It's your hand. And usually by the point when I started learning this, I was already taught those things. Just like as you're doing these, guys, when you're evoking the names and stuff, also practice doing it loud at first, then whispering it, then mentally. Because the goal is to reach that to where we do it mentally with no words and silence. As we start doing that, now we're starting to give creation to our personal bubble, our personal universe, our auric field, that it's there. That it's already made manifest and created. That is why I showed this image. And Chris, I'm sure you've seen something similar to this image that I have shown you. That's probably why I haven't got around to putting that image I showed you on creating my altar top, because it's already a part of me. It's a part of my personal universe, part of my aura. I don't need the training wheel part.
It's already a part of me. And let's see here. If I can find it, I will share it. Definitely not that folder. For those that don't know what I was referring to, it is just that. And that's not actually the finished work. But as you guys can see, the image I showed you previously is just a small version of this. When it's all said and done, it will my representation of my own personal universe with the lesser banishing ritual, the hexagram ritual, the greater invocations, and some of the Enochian stuff is depicted in the symbol right here. And that should be our ultimate goal. That is my walking circle. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit much. But it's something that, you know, like I said, I think we've put too much focus on the LBR and less on the LHR. Or if you want to put the GBR and GHR, we should spend just as much time as we did on the lesser vanishing ritual of the pentagram as we do on the hexagram ritual, or just the pentagram ritual and the hexagram ritual. They should have equal amount of focus of time because we're blazing that into our personal universe. We're blazing that into our aura through the repetition. And as you can see with the hexagram ritual, what we're also doing, we're bringing into the planetaries, spirits, elements, properties, aspects. It's all of its energies into our auric field. We're causing it to run, the harmonization of it. I mean, there's many ways to go about it. You can do this simple technique just through the tree, walking the tree. Like I said, every part of each sphere is a doorway to many different forms of knowledge, information, realities, realms, dimensions, whatever you want to call it. You know, just like for most, we jump right straight. Most magicians, when we take our share, we don't walk the whole tree. We jump right straight into Teferi. So we reached the point that we know, so it's like a trigger. As soon as we enter Teferet, we access the whole tree, as above, so below. By doing so, we're allowing everything to flow through us in a harmonized sense, freely, unrestricted. That's why you will hear the term, taking my chair, taking my throne. Because when we enter Teferet, we are basically the God and Goddess of our universe. We are at the center of our universe. We are the sun, the soul. And with that, I am actually going to end on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. New watchers, I hope you guys enjoy this. Like, share, and please subscribe so you can keep up to date on when I post things. Because as a few people may have noticed, I actually uploaded video and then do a live stream. There's some parts of the broadcast that's just going to be uploaded, and I won't do live streams. I'm actually going to go live here in about 10-15 minutes. About 10 minutes. I'm actually going to do Ramblings with a Chaotic Mind tonight. So I got something I need to get off my chest. And maybe explain a few things, since people just think they know me. They want to make assumptions and accusations. So yeah. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, anybody wants to tune back in here in about 10 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. Take me about that long to set it up. I will be going back live. Chris, you want to join me in that? It's Ramblings with a Chaotic Mind. You know how that works. I don't know how busy you are, but yeah. And the other thing, guys, if you guys want to take part, I mean, if you've seen the intro, you've seen some of the broadcasts that we have, that we do. If one of those you guys would like to work with and do, let me know. I'll help you set it up. Because, bring you in. You can come join me in the hangout. This is also a tool for you guys. It's just not for me. I enjoy doing it, but I also want to see it grow. I want to see other people coming in and sharing their own philosophies and views. I'd like to get it for the Wiccans out there. I don't know much on the Wiccan side of things. That's why you don't hear me talk much about it. It's a good opportunity for you to help us add to KOTR. That's the part that's always been lacking from our perspective. I'm more of a ritualist practitioner. So I am looking for people to actually come join me and do things. Like I said, I've got it set up to where there's a lot we can do. Either through just recording streams off the XSplit, which opens up a whole new category of things that we're able to do. Like I said, my contact information there, my Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, and my personal email. You guys can contact me there if you got any ideas or topics you want to hear. Let me know. But other than that, I wish you guys all a good night. And for those that wish to tune in, in about 15 minutes, I will be redoing another live stream.